just going to take down the shirt. I think what I'm going to do is just have the shirt pressed up against his back, no lifting of the shirt, because actually he's going to be wearing a, I don't know what I'm going to have him do. It could be a bow scabbard. I don't know what I'm going to do yet, because quite honestly, I got to figure out what the bow scabbard would do. Probably be pushed, the end of it would be pushed this way. I don't know. I'm just going to have to work out all that logistic stuff. But I want to show the crease in his back through the shirt, since it's being pressed up against his back. And so that's what I'm going to do right now. As I get started, I want to do a little self-promotion. Buy my DVD if you want to see how to sculpt a male bust out of clay. Take it from making the armature, to adding the wire for the head, to figuring out the measurements for the proportions, all that in here. And it's just a fun disc. My next one I'm going to be starting on probably in the next week or so. And I'm thinking of doing a horse one, but for now, this one is for those who have always wondered how to do a bust of a human and or create a face and do it proportionally. All right, and the information for that is at the bottom of this DVD, and there's a link down there to showing you just a little preview of what's on the DVD. All right, the promotion is out of the way, and we'll get back to work. I've got 38 years of doing this, so it's worth getting if you would like to share in that knowledge that I've gained over the 38 years of sculpting. This tool here is from sculpttools.com, and it's very handy. It's a silicone tip tool. They have a great selection of tools there. They're on that website. I find them real handy. I like the stiffer ones than I do the softer ones, only because I find more use for that. Although the soft ones are good for fine detail when you're working on the fine detail. The stiffer ones, you can actually move the clay around a little bit. And it's like I've said many times, like having an added finger. I got him sitting up just a little too high right now, and I'm going to give him just a bit of a bend in his back. There we go. Yeah. I don't want to cover up his face on this side, but I gotta also have hair blowing there as I do on the other side, so gotta figure out how to do this, and there we go. I think that'll do it, and then I'll just put strands of hair coming down, and that will give it some nice shape to it. You don't want to get carried away with anything. It's like anything else, you just try to do the minimum but still make it look like the maximum. I don't know if that makes sense, but I understand me. Alright, I've got a little brown wax warming up right now, and the reason I'm doing that is because I'm going to make the feathers for his head. I'm thinking I'm going to do maybe 5 feathers. I'm going to use this thin gauge wire. It's not baling wire. It's you can get different gauged wires at your hardware store, and that's what I got here. Make the armature for the feathers. You can get brown wax at the foundry if you have a foundry nearby. This is what they use to make the wax castings with. And it's a soft wax. Just takes a little heating up and you can use it. Now by pressing it, I'm drawing it out a little bit in size. You don't want to make it so thin that you can't cast it. But you don't want to make it so thick that you can't cast the wire while holding with the needle nose, because you don't want to burn your finger. And then I just place it in the center of the feather and press it down into the wax. Let it just solidify there. All I'm doing here is just scraping away the excess wax built up as the wire melted into it. What I've done is I've tried to bring up the gain on the video so you can see it a little bit better. That's not doing. Okay, there we go. Heck, I can't see what I'm doing. Okay. What I do is I take it out to the edge of the feather from the center. And I do it on both sides. That gives a nice feather texture to it. And I start almost straight out from the center at the bottom, and then I start angling it up towards the top. In other words, out there, and eventually at the almost vertical to the piece. And just keep rolling it and try to control it so it doesn't go flipping around on the other end. Right on the center. And press it down lightly. Okay. What I did was I took a piece of clay to the local hardware store, and I had the color of the clay matched to so I can, when I paint my feathers, or when I paint items that are clay, they will look like the clay when they dry. The reason I paint the wax is just to make it look like the clay, so that when I'm working on the clay in the gallery, people aren't always asking me, what is that and why is it darker? So I'm going to let that sit now overnight, wash off my brush, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.